Finally, proceeds from the Eurobond has already arrived, Portia, so this time there's a lot of deliberation about how the money is going to be spent. But of course, the finance minister is at the Flagstaff House meeting with the press and telling them that this is how we are going to spend the proceeds that we've received, and also ensuring and assuring that the money will go a long way to help the people of Ghana. So there's and many other interesting details coming up shortly in business. All right, so let's just take our very first story. Minister of Finance, Tekpe, says the availability of the Eurobond proceeds will speed up implementation of the development projects in the 2013 budget. Addressing the media at the Flagstaff House, the Finance Minister explained government is tapping into the global bond market to strengthen Ghana's credentials as a regular and responsible borrower. Meanwhile, the government released a breakdown of the Eurobond expenditure as follows. Well, $102 million for counterpart funding. So $102 million of the amount will be used for counterpart funding. Now, when we talk about counterpart funding, it's projects that Ghana jointly entered with other countries. So Ghana is going to use part of its proceeds to pay up that amount. Then again, $307 million will be for new and ongoing projects. So projects that are ongoing and some new ones, we are going to use around $307 million to finance those projects. Then again, if we're breaking it further, 250 million will be used to finance some 2007 Euro bond which matures in 2017. So 2017, some of the Euro bonds which would be maturing, they would be using $250 million to service that bonds. Of course, those bonds were secured in year 2007. Gradually, we're hinting towards its maturity. So $250 million will be prepared to use to finance it. And then finally, 340 million will be used to service domestic debts. Well, very shortly, my colleague Kojo Hayford will be joining me on the line to explain further some of the details that the finance minister has been given to them at the Flagstaff House. So Kojo Hayford will be joining me shortly. He will be bringing us details of all that we need to know about what the finance minister has been saying. Well, if Kojo Hayford is on the line, a very good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Well, I'm informed that he will be joining us shortly with all those updates. But I've given you all the breakdown. We'll stay on this particular details and we'll be furnishing you with more information on it. But quite recently, the small-scale miners and galamsey operators have been in the news again. Not quite long ago, in and around yesterday, we had information that 2 miners passed on after they attempted fleeing from officials of the mining task force. They died in the Pra River. And then again, 2 have been arrested for posing as members of the task force and harassing some small-scale miners. Joining me in the studios right now is the communications director of the Small-Scale Miners Association, Francis Opoku. Francis, many thanks for joining us. Well, you can sit up a little bit for us. We sincerely appreciate your presence here this afternoon. Just tell us new developments coming up within this recent times, just in and around a few days. 2 mining, small-scale miners dying in the Pra River. Quite an unfortunate incident, but what were they doing? Fleeing from officials of the task force. Am I to believe that officials of the small-scale miners are not in collaboration with the task force operators, for which reason we keep losing members from the small-scale and galamsey operations sector?
Thank you, Kwaku. Let me take this opportunity to say hello to your television viewers. Yeah, like you rightly said, these issues are issues that have been happening every now and then. We see them, we hear them happening. But it's interesting to know that. See,
all right. We'll come back to this particular topic shortly. But early on, we talked about my colleague Kojo Heford being at the Flagstaff House. We'll be coming back shortly to mining issues. But Kojo, thank you very much for joining us on Midday Live. The Minister of Finance has given a breakdown as to how proceeds from the Eurobond would be used. Has he further said anything that the money would be used for? Well, Kojo Hayford is joining me from the Flagstaff House very shortly. He will be coming in telling us exactly how the finance minister has been giving us a breakdown. But if I refresh your memories, $102 million for counterpart funding. Kojo, if you're on the line, we also know that parts of the money will be used for projects that are currently ongoing. Did they mention some of the projects to you? Okay, Kojo Hayford is joining me from Flagstaff House, but he mentioned specifically that $307 million will be used to finance ongoing projects as well as new projects. So that is the amount that will be used to finance ongoing and new projects, $307 million. Kojo, if you are back on the line, we were trying to find out from you, did he mention specifically some of the projects that this money would be channeled into?
Definitely, Kweku, and good afternoon to our viewers. With regards to the $307 million, which is going into the financing new projects, he mentioned some specific projects, including the Afram Plains Agri Development Project. There is a rice sector support project, which is ongoing, and then the self-help electrification project, Phase 4, which is also ongoing. And then he mentioned counterpart financing for a portion of the Bui Dam project, which is ongoing. And then we have a rural electrification project in the northern regions, the ongoing Awoshi Pokwase Road, which is about 17 kilometers, which is also ongoing. So some financing is going into that area. And we have the West African Highway project, the 6-lane West African Highway project, which government of Ghana has committed itself to also financing a portion of that route. So these are some of the areas he mentioned are going to be benefiting from the amount stated. That is the $307 million coming from the Eurobond.
Okay, that's quite interesting, Kojo. One other issue is domestic debts, and for some critics, they are like, you can't borrow to service debt, and it might not be too good. Did he touch on domestic debts and why we would have to use parts of the proceeds to defray off that cost?
I think he mentioned that as part of the reasons why government in the first place went for this facility, that as the government was explaining to Parliament, that some amount of this money was going to go into refinancing maturing domestic and foreign debt to reduce the cost of borrowing. So it is actually in line with government set objective for going in for this $1 billion Euro bond.
All right, Kojo, you're spot on that issue. Well, thank you very much. Later in the day, viewers should watch TV3 as we bring you all the updates from the Flagstaff House. Well, my colleague Kojo Hayford is a Flagstaff House correspondent, the presidential correspondent that we have. But back to mining issues. Francis, thank you very much for your patience. Let me just quickly throw the question back to you again. So, is there a collaboration between the task force and, of course, the Small Scale Miners Association? Because if there is, then I don't expect your members to be passing out like that.
Yeah, like I said in the first place, we have to look at what actually happened, but I don't have details of that incident, so I can't talk much on that. But there are issues that we can't run away from. They keep happening every now and then. But we have to look at these things critically, more dispassionately. We have a sector that can employ over a whole lot of people. As we talk now, the small scale sector is employing not less than 1 million people. And there was this operation of getting rid of the Chinese illegal miners in general, and a lot of people have been released into the system. And let me be frank with you, these are people who don't have qualification like you and I, and they have to survive. You understand? I am not condoning illegal mining, but what I want to say is that every country develop on the basis of the resources that he's endowed with.
resources, of
Exactly.
course. So the people, but there should be regulation. So my question is, what form of agreements, what sort of negotiations do you enter with people who are supposed to regulate your operations? Is it forthcoming?
Yeah, it's not being the best. It's not being the best at all. You see, it's boiled down to perception. You see, the regulators, you see, even the task force people, you see, they have some certain kind of perception. They are doing marvelous work, but sometimes the perception about small scale mining is somehow, a bit, disgusting. Sometimes it's unfortunate, but I have to say it. We look at a situation that entrepreneurs, some of us are entrepreneurs, we decided to go into small scale mining, but because of the negativity of illegal mining, you see, when they come around, before you are aware, they bundle the small scale miners together with the illegal miners. So if certain issues like this happen, what are you trying to cripple the entrepreneurial ability or not?
From what you're saying, I want to find out from you. Do you think one way or the other, some sections of small-scale miners are being harassed as at now, so long as the operations of the task force is concerned?
Yeah, that's why I keep saying that. You see, the collaboration shouldn't be mere rhetoric. We say it, but we don't practicalize it. It should be something that we should take a holistic view of it. You understand?
But within your own membership, have you tried taking that holistic view that, look, let's do the right thing so that these individuals that have been mandated to put regulation in do not harass us, do not tax us? Have you taken the initiatives within your own self, and how?
This is excellent question. You see, as I talk to you now, we have a program with University of Mines and Technology coming on the 28th of this month. You see, we are trying to collaborate and see how best they can, we can train our people at a UMAT. You understand? Say that even before you can conduct small scale mining, you have to have undergone training, with UMAT. You see, so we are taking all these initiatives so that at least we clean our home before the good thing. Because let me tell you something, the small scale, the Chinese example were there for people to see. This is a sector that ordinary Chinese from Guangdong and whatever came in, and laborers, they were driving in four-wheel drives.
So they came to make money.
They made a lot of money.
Do you think it's time for our own indigenes to be given the opportunity to make the money also?
Excellent. So
are you operating now? Are you operating now as small-scale miners, or government has just put that halt to it for now?
You see, one interesting thing is that, see, Ghanaians, when it comes to initiative, we are found wanting. I have to be honest with you. I'm an entrepreneur, so I am out there and I know what is happening. The president's statement on the combating illegal mine was clear. He said that it was in two folds. He was going to clear the illegalities in the system, and then after that he will streamline the small scale sector. As at now, we are meeting the minister today. After the program, we go straight to see the minister. We want to see how the other side to the clearing has been done, but the streamlining is still ongoing. Of course, you should always stay with us. I've been speaking to Francis Opoku. Well, time is not so much on our side, so we'll have to end it up, unfortunately. But Francis, many thanks for coming into the studio. We're sure we'll make up more time and delve deep into some of these illegalities and also small-scale mining. But that will do for now. We're taking that quick break. When we come back, Portia Solomon is coming up with some more stories. Don't you forget that we'll be doing some international as well as sports stories. Of course, it's Midday Live. Do not go away. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you very much, Kweku Timin, for that update. We continue with the rest of our stories, and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is currently disbursing 2 million cedis to over 7,000 fire victims at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park, and the ministry says it is committed to collaborating with relevant stakeholders to reduce the occurrence of market fires in the country.
their wares have been destroyed. So this is an immediate humanitarian intervention. We know it is not much, but at least it is something. But medium and long term, we're engaging with the banks, like we brought in Stanbic Bank, because we know that at least in terms of products, they have an existing SME product which is tailored for market traders, and that is why we brought them in. And we've discussed the package for the market traders, and for Stanbic, part of the process would be to educate them, do some financial literacy. This is what attracted us to Stanbic. So this is what is going to happen, and we're going to continue this work with the market traders.
So what would you say to creators who are saying this is a one-time payment, you're just going to give them the money and that's it, walk away?
It is indeed a one-time payment. Yes, it is a one-time payment. We're not going to make any more payments, but we are rather going to strengthen their capacity to develop and have a saving culture, to open bank accounts, to learn to buy insurance, especially against fire and other natural hazards, and then also to get products to help them with their capital, to raise more capital and have some soft loans. So yes, it is a one-time payment, but we're not walking away. We're working with the market traders in this.
And
Thank
I
you.
want to find out if, yes, you've indicated as a one-time payment,
Yes.
will there be a monitoring system to also ensure that they do put this money to good use?
No,
And
we
secondly,
can't monitor this. We can't.
In the
yes.
long term, I did speak to a number of them. Some of them are saying that they haven't been approached by Maslow or any of these government agencies to assist them, to enable them recoup and recover so they can start their businesses. What is happening to that?
Yeah, so this, like I said, this is the work in progress that we're identifying the banks and the non-finance institutions to provide them with some assistance.
Okay, so how is the disbursement?
Okay, thank you very much.
Rate or are you
Meanwhile, the mayor of Accra, Alfred Vanderpoy, says stakeholders of markets should show commitment to ending the market fire outbreaks across the country.
First of all, to establish, is this a bailout or they're just handouts which is for free, or these traders will return the money?
Well, you know, when the fires broke out, His Excellency the President promised that government will make some money available to alleviate some of the, the hardships of the victims of the fire. And today we are here to fulfill that promise. It's amount of 2 million Ghana cedis. Yes, when you consider the fact that so many victims were affected in this fire.
What measure is government putting in place to ensure that, yes, indeed, they're able to recover their losses and there is a sustainable program for all of these markets?
Yes, that is why we have other agencies that are also ready and stand ready to help, such as Maslow. Maslow is there. Maslow is ready to assist them, and that process has already begun. So that process is still ongoing. This is government's way of saying this is a gift money to you. The banks also, Stanbic Bank is here. Stanbic Bank has said that we are also ready to facilitate your financial, status to help you get back to business. And then also for future developments, we are also urging the traders so that they can also acquire some level of insurance, so that in matters of this nature, they would not be found wanting.
And early on in your speech, you did mention that for these insistent market fire outbreaks to end, all stakeholders need to work together. Yes. Are you having the support from other stakeholders?
Oh yes. I must commend the market association leadership. I must commend some of the fire service and police service. We have all been working together because everybody is concerned. We do not want to see continuous outbreak of fire in our markets.